Most people believe that earning $70,000 a year means financial stability. It sounds like a solid income. It sounds like the point where life finally becomes comfortable. But for millions of people, this income level hides a strange financial trap. Because something interesting happens when people reach this salary level. They expect their life to become easier. Yet many of them still feel broke. Not because they are irresponsible, but because the system quietly moves their money in ways most people never notice. To understand this, let's meet Alex. Alex is a typical office worker. Alex recently reached a salary of about $70,000 a year. For years, Alex worked hard hoping to reach this income level. And when it finally happened, it felt like success. But after a few months, something strange started happening. Even with this salary, Alex still felt financially stuck. The paycheck looked good, but the bank account never seemed to grow. At first, Alex assumed the problem was simple. Maybe spending habits needed improvement. But when Alex actually looked at the numbers, something surprising appeared. The salary wasn't disappearing randomly. It was disappearing in very predictable directions. The first place the money goes is taxes. Before Alex even receives the full paycheck, a significant portion is already gone. Federal taxes, state taxes, Social Security contributions, healthcare deductions. When everything is combined, the original $70,000 salary quickly becomes something much smaller. But taxes are only the first layer of the system. The second major expense is housing. Housing is often the largest financial pressure in modern life. Rent or mortgage payments can easily take 30% or more of a person's income. In some cities, it can take even more. For Alex, rent alone absorbs a huge part of the monthly budget. And once housing is covered, other essential costs appear. Utilities, transportation, groceries, insurance. These costs may not seem extreme individually, but together they quietly consume a large part of the paycheck. At this point, many people assume the problem is simply the cost of living. But the real trap is deeper than that. It's something economists call lifestyle inflation. Lifestyle inflation happens when income increases and spending rises at the same time. When Alex started earning more money, life slowly began to upgrade. A slightly better apartment, a newer phone, more frequent dining out, streaming subscriptions, convenience services. None of these choices felt irresponsible. In fact, they felt normal. But together, they quietly expanded Alex's monthly expenses. This is where the salary trap begins. Because the more income increases, the more comfortable spending becomes. And over time, higher income simply creates higher expenses. This is why many people earning $70,000 a year feel financially stuck. Their income improved, but their financial structure stayed exactly the same. The system still pulls money in the same directions: taxes, housing, lifestyle inflation, and everyday spending. The real problem isn't income, it's financial awareness. Most people focus on increasing their income, but very few people study how money actually flows through their life. When someone begins to understand this system, everything changes. Because wealth is not created by income alone. Wealth is created by the gap between income and expenses. That gap is what builds savings. That gap is what allows investing, and that gap is what eventually creates financial freedom. Alex eventually realized something important. The goal wasn't just to earn more money. The real goal was to control where the money goes. By reducing unnecessary lifestyle upgrades, by understanding spending patterns, and by protecting the gap between income and expenses. Once that gap starts growing, something powerful begins to happen. Money finally starts working for the person earning it. And that's the moment when income stops being a trap and starts becoming a blueprint for building wealth.